I know you've ever visited a friend or a relative or a neighbor or anybody who had a nice tree, something like a plum tree or a cherry tree or a fig tree or even grape, and you wanted a particular tree, but it was too expensive in the shops at the nurseries for you to buy. So I'm going to demonstrate now how you can cut a part of a tree, root it yourself, and have it in your backyard within a few months or so. So there's two ways actually to do this. The first one is to cut what we call a soft wood cutting, which is basically this year's growth. So you would cut it at the point where it meets a branch, something like this. So you would cut a bit of it like that. That is the softwood cutting. The hardwood cutting is growth that's older than a year, like 2 or 3 years old. Something similar to this. It's quite important for you to cut a part that has had fruit in it. So I've had this tree for a while, so I know we did pick some fruit from this bit. So this is why I'm cutting this one. So I'm using a knife here. There's quite a few other stuff that you can use. So yeah, this is long enough, although I'm just going to cut it somewhere here to be like this short. Basically, I can just throw that away, you know. So this is a plum tree, but you could use the same technique with cherry tree. You could use it with fig. You could use it with a grapevine as well. So let's start with the soft wood cutting, how you would go about it. I'll just put this one on the floor, then I'll just show you. So you're just going to give this one a nice haircut. Put it a nice haircut. Just leave a few leaves at the top. Just cut this a bit. Just take it out. Sorry, I'm a bit sneezing. So, and leave it, like this. So we're going to peel the bottom part of it. So that's where the roots are going to come out of. You just need to peel off the bottom part of this, just like this. Just put it, peel it off, peel it off, peel it off nicely, because you're gonna put this inside your potting mix, as I'll demonstrate later. You just need to remove actually just the outer layer, so you are exposing the part where your roots are going to form. So basically, as you can see, this is now going to be like a miniature tree, as it were. We're going to put this in soil, and the roots will start growing, and that will become our tree, as I'll demonstrate later. So that's what you would do with a softwood cutting. Normally you do a softwood cutting during the growth season, so these are the summer months, from spring to summer. In the southern hemisphere, that would be from September up until February, March. So that would be that. Now with the hardwood cutting, basically, remember, you cut that, so you are just going to take everything off. Remember, with the softwood cutting, you left just a little bit of your hair on top of the leaves, but here you're just going to take everything off, just like this. And in a similar situation as well, you're going to expose the bottom of it, like I will soon demonstrate. Just need to get rid of this quite quickly. Just make sure when you are taking this off, you don't peel this and then it peels off with a part of your hardwood cutting, because that will make the whole thing dry out. We're trying to keep as much moisture within the whole thing as possible. So basically, you're going to end up with a piece of wood similar to this. Right. So similarly with the softwood, you are going to peel off the bottom part. You're going to peel off the bottom part like this. Just going to peel off the bottom part like this. So if you have some growth, like some outgrowth as with this one, it's cool. Keep it there, depending on how deep you want to put it there. We're going to put it in a soil in a pot. So it's also quite important for you to know how deep your pot is, because you don't want this bit exposed over above the soil. So basically here, this is where the roots are going to form. Just peel it off like that, just peel it off like that, and peel it off like that. So now we have two sort of cuttings. We have the softwood cutting now, and we have the hardwood cutting. I have seen people use rooting hormone, but I've rooted a whole of these trees without using rooting hormone. But basically, you can get it from your hardware store or from your nursery or wherever, where you just dip the bottom, the tip of it, and then root it. Similarly with this one, but I'm going to do it without the rooting hormone, because that's how I've always done it, and I've had great experience with it. Okay. So we have our softwood cutting, which I said you would use during the growth season. So this would be this year's growth. You can see the green part is light green, so it's not an old part of the tree. This one is oldish, like last year's growth. So you can see it has seen a bit of winter, so it has hardened a little, but it would still grow. Anything older than 5 years, you would have trouble actually growing. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to put it in a pot like this. You can create yours, or you can buy one from a hardware store. With mine, I created these. I've put some holes at the bottom of it for drainage, so that when you water it, the water actually comes out. So you don't want a situation where the pot is full of water and it just clogs the whole thing and your roots die. So basically you're just gonna put a hole in the soil and stick it like this. So that's with the softwood cutting. With the hardwood cutting, it's a similar sort of situation like that. It's just that this one doesn't have the leaves, so the softwood cutting would have the leaves. So basically then thereafter you would just water it. You know, just have a watering can with the muzzle like that, so it has rain. I put mine in a south facing slope. This is a wall that's facing south. It doesn't have a lot of sun exposure during the day, so that means it won't dry out. Remember, the most important thing is to make sure that your cutting does not dry out. I've seen a lot of people cover this with a plastic bag and poke holes in it. If you put it in an area where it doesn't get a lot of sun exposure, that will not be a problem. Some people put it indoors and that sort of things. I put it outdoors here because this area here just gets maybe 2 hours of sun exposure during the day, so it really won't kill it like this. So you're gonna put it there for like 2 weeks. You can see this one, I've already put them. These are like 1 week old, and then after 2 weeks we'll come and take out and see if we have had some roots grown. You can then put it in a bag. You could give it away as a present, or you could put it in your backyard. So this is 2 months later. We've had our cuttings out from a plum tree, but as you can see, this is very addictive. So I also went and got a few other cuttings like this one. This is an apricot. This one as well. This is a pear, and a few others. There's a lemon tree there somewhere. A few other variants of lemon, not lemon tree, but the plum, and also that old favorite cherry. So as you can see, this has started to bear some leaves there. This means that it has caught on. It is actually producing roots down there. I won't take it out because then that will be sacrificing it. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. So basically From the hardwoods, the softwoods, none of them actually manage to live. But this basically means this is how you do it. As you can see, others are not really rooting, but the fact that they are not showing the leaves doesn't mean that they're not showing leaves. The other way to look at it is to check this one. It's so soft. It bends. If it bends like that, it shows that it's still alive. Otherwise, it would be brittle and it would break. This one is still alive. So we are recording this now in the month of February. So we're gonna go into the autumn season. The autumn season is like the cold season. So we are not gonna take these straight into the open ground because they'll probably die because the overnight temperatures are very low. So the most important thing with this basically is just to keep the soil very moist, but because we have drilled the holes beneath the buckets, you just put in the water and the soil, the water drains, the soil remains moist, but it's not cloggy, it's not killing the roots or anything like that. So we're gonna go and keep this in a place that's not sunny, like I showed, the south facing slope, for over the winter. So after winter, as soon as the overnight temperatures and the ground temperature has risen up, maybe around September, October there, when it starts raining again, then they will start showing some more leaves. If we are lucky, we will also have some blooms, and then we will take it into the open ground for the growing season from September, October, November, December, January and February, maybe that's 6 months. Then we will know that it has hardened enough for it to stay as a complete tree. That way, we won't necessarily have to water it after 2 years or so, then it will just survive on rainwater. So basically, this is how you root a fruit tree from a twig. Please follow my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/GYOF for GYOF, short for Grow Your Own Food. Thank you.